Okay, this is a Pokémon Ultraviolet Nuzlocke. I lost a lot of footage. I had serious problems getting the footage up for this. I'm Bulbasaur for life, as you can see, and I managed to catch a shiny Pidgey on the same first route as the Rattata. So this is the earliest save I've got that wasn't lost. Now I've got to the Pokeballs. The Nuzlocke rules are in effect. I'm using set battling style to make it harder. And yeah, we're going to see if we can catch a second Pokemon on the area to the left and I guess Route 2. And right out the gate we get a Mankey, which is cool. It's a bit of variety on the team. Scared to kill it, you see. This is the trouble, so I'm switching away from Seedling. But yeah, see, if it breaks out of the Pokeball, like, it could be, if it keeps breaking out and hitting us, it can be dangerous to Joey. But also I really don't want it to faint. But so yeah, you see he got a crit, so like I'm like worried about Joe now, so, and I haven't got that many Pokemon to waste the health bars off, so back to Seedling because he's probably the tankiest. Let's see if we can catch this bastard. So yeah, Bulba's I'm not choosing him for like easy mode for the first gyms. I just prefer Bulbasaur. I always choose Bulbasaur when he's an option. Okay, I always name Pokemon with like what their final evolution is going to be, because they'll be that for most of their life if they survive that long. So like a Primeape, I always think like Prime, Premium, you know, something like that. Like he's the best. So yeah, that's nice. Trouble is he's low level, which is good because I think when you catch Pokemon at a lower level, they're stronger when they level up, like they get better stats. Although eventually pretty much every Pokemon is going to reach its max stats eventually, right? Never been a huge nerd about IVs and EVs and all that bullshit. But yeah, at the beginning it's a pain in the ass because if they're very under-leveled, you know, when you're trying to grind them up, it's a risk of them fainting, and on a Nuzlocke you don't want that because fainting is death. I'm saying for any like legendaries or one-off type Pokemon like starters, they don't die, they just go into a coma till after the Elite Four is the way I'm playing it, just because I can't bring myself to release them. But they are going to be out of play and functionally the same way. I'm just not going to hit release. It's weird how that potion used to be hidden in the tree, and in the later gens they kind of make it easier and it's just there in an item ball. It's kind of annoying. I'm so sick of this old man, the amount of times I've played these games over the years, having to watch him catch a Weedle. And it's not even a good way to catch a Weedle. Like, he doesn't injure it, he doesn't status affect it. It creates a very false idea that you catch Pokemon by just slinging a ball at them, which ironically fits for like all this bullshit Pokemon Let's Go era, I guess. But yeah, that's not like how it really is. No, it really is as if they're real, you know what I mean, like how it is on most games. I never used that TGTV thing in my life on any version of the game. So yeah, I've got a list of levels that like my Pokemon can get to without being over leveled for all the content, because that would make the game too easy. So we're leveling up in relation to the rival, who I think has 2 level 9s or something. The only issue is I would usually be doing grinding off screen because it's kind of boring, but in this case it could take quite a while to find one we haven't already got. Some optional Nuzlocke rules say, oh, you only get like 2 chances to find a new Pokemon, but I'm like, nah, you go until you find a new Pokemon, if there is a new Pokemon to be found there. I'm doing it by if the Pokeball icon shows up. So for example, I could catch a Pidgeotto now, but if I evolve to a Pidgeotto, I can't then catch another Pidgey, but I could catch a Pidgeot and so on. You get what I mean. Yeah, this game is weird with shinies. I saw a golden Rattata before I had Pokeballs, which I was gutted about. Then I saw a golden Pidgey. Like, I had to reload a few times because I was like losing saves and my videos were getting fucked up, so I restarted. But yeah, it was a bit of a mission. But yeah, see, I'm terrified of having them faint. That was a bit of a risk, you know. If he had got a crit, that would have been the end of my golden. But yeah, it seems to be, I don't think gold is like the normal colour, right? Like Raticate is black when it's shiny, so I think like it's something Ultraviolet's done, and I hope it hasn't increased the shiny rate too much because I feel like I'm cheating. But so far I've only seen the shinies down there. And although I could catch more shinies of the same species, I'm not going to play them. Like, if I get 2 golden Pidgeys, I'm not going to have 2 golden Pidgeys, you know, I'm going to get 1 golden Pidgey. So I guess the most of any one kind I'm going to get is 2. I could get a regular and a shiny, right, if I got the regular first. So it's to stop it being too easy by just having hundreds of Pokemon. But yeah, Ultraviolet just has some quality of life improvements, like you can evolve trade Pokemon, which is good for solo runs, things like that. So yeah, I really don't want Mankey to get killed here when he's still weak. Yeah, get him the fuck out of there. So I'm not entirely sure on how critical mechanics work. It's not just double health. Like, if it is, then you can do the math as you're watching the health go down, going, okay, if that did 4 damage, the most it's going to do is 8. He's got 9, he's safe. But I'm always paranoid that's not the case. I did look it up, and there's some weird-ass formula, but I don't know what that means. Yeah, I think there's a slight graphical glitch when I speed up and record it, which let me know if that's unwatchable. I think once I get the running shoes, it will be about the same, and so I won't manually speed it up, and then maybe the graphics will be better. We'll have to see how that plays out. Or, you know, maybe we're all going to get wiped in the first gym, and yeah, you know, maybe it won't matter. I really don't like the shift and set dynamic, because I think, you know, you get punished for winning. You beat a Pokemon, and then they send out a Pokemon that's super effective, so you have to switch, and then you're losing. Like, you're then going second that turn, and it's like, but I was winning. You're getting punished for success. But on the other hand, the shift style is too easy, because it tells you what they're going to send out. Like, it tells you exactly what Pokemon's coming, which means you can choose a super effective person to fight it, which just seems overpowered to me and unfair. But yeah, I love that they have socialized healthcare in the Pokemon universe. I mean, people probably pay taxes, but there's never like... I mean, can you imagine if you had to pay every time? You'd never be able to level up, right? That'd be an interesting, like, ROM hack, though. You had to pay a monthly thing for health insurance, and if you haven't, like, won enough battles that month, you can't make the payments. What they do, like, keep your wounded Pokemon as collateral? It's kind of fucked up. Yeah, I mean, I think Peter and stuff have got the wrong idea about, like, Pokemon being, like, dog fighting, because, I mean, it is, kinda. I mean, it's, like, bug collecting plus dog fighting, but, like, there's more... in-universe, they, like, the Pokemon want to fight because they want to evolve. Like, they have a drive to do it. It's, like, their natural inclination. So it's more like boxing. It's, like, there's an implicit kind of consent, you know? But it is muddy, because, like, the game's continuity is much, like, less soft than the anime. Like, the Pokemon are proper biting each other and growling and making animal noises, and not just like saying their own name over and over again and weird shit like that. But you can see I'm being really cautious with Primo, because I really just don't want to lose a Pokemon right out of the gate. And I'm worried about over leveling Seedling, so I'm trying to get these other Lobies in the mix, but then switching them out is obviously a disadvantage. So you see Philip's got to go again already, so we get inevitably I have to use Seedling after all. Be cool to get a Pikachu in the forest, but like, I don't know, it's unlikely, because even if I get like a bug here, there's still going to be the other bug and their cocoon evolutions that could more likely pop up, and then that's my one new Pokemon, you know. Given how easy it is to grind Pokemon, like, I'm surprised most trainers who have been doing it for more than like a year real time have not got level 100 Pokemon. I don't know what the in-universe explanation for that is. I guess the experience you get is kind of unique to you. Like, you're just that good that you get that much experience from it. You're also quite lucky that you have like this narrative-driven adventure where things escalate slowly, whereas I imagine if you're like a kid living in Pallet, you know, you could try and travel around, find more trainers, but you're not going to like have the rockets to level up on, and be tougher, I guess. And like, yeah, how does it work in other cities? Like, there's no a lab everywhere. Do they have to travel to Pallet to get their starter? Do they not get a starter? It's never really explained. Like, and don't families who like grow up with Pokemon, like if they've got a pet dog Pokemon, like that's a huge advantage. Like, you don't have to wait till you're 10. You could have been like leveled that up for like 2 years if you have one when you're 8, and then you're gonna like kick the ass of someone's Bulbasaur like easy. I never really understood how like they did that. You can get like I think like ROM hacks where you start in different cities, but I imagine they just rejig all the battles and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you were born on Cinnabar, like you're a scientist's kid or something, you're fucked. Like there's nothing you could catch, like a tentacle maybe. How would that even work, you know? It makes sense that you can like buy them in the game corner, you know, like people sell pets in real life. I'm surprised there's not. You think that would be like rich in everything? Rich people would ruin everything. Rich people would just buy strong Pokemon that they never trained. And the anime actually is more like sympathetic in that, like there's all this corny stuff about the power of friendship and stuff, which at least would explain how a plucky underdog can actually be objectively good. But if it's just mechanics, then yeah, rich people should just be able to buy the best shit and dominate. You know, you buy a level 100 Nidoqueen with Earthquake, and doesn't matter how much gumption this 10-year-old's got, you're fucking him up. But yeah, this is the problem when you overthink fucking Pokemon when you're like 30 years old and playing a game meant for like 10-year-old Japanese boys, you know. There's something cool about like leaving home and going on a grand adventure, and the way society is just like, yeah, go for it. There's all these fan theories that it's like after a war and there's like very few adult men left and stuff. That's why all like the nurses and police are women, at least in the anime. But yeah, that shiny effect is so cool. I actually can't wait to look what he looks like as a Pidgeotto. Slowly crawling up these levels. It's weird how we got a Mankey straight away and yet we can't find anything here. Yeah, so my other issue is I know there's a rival battle to the left and that's what we're leveling up for. But I don't know where, like, how far north you can go before that battle is gone and you lose it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if you like get the first badge and go back, he's not there. And eventually he gets replaced with the battle from the like end game, you know? Spoiler alert. I've been watching like way too many videos recently of like, can you beat Pokemon Red or Blue with just a Rattata or just a whatever. There's this one guy who does them all and they're like kind of annoying and repetitive, but like I keep watching them. It's just the curse of YouTube. You just, I'll click another video. So I'm attempting to make some content, but it's actually way harder than I thought. Like in this case, I'm overdubbing footage because I kept losing footage, you know. But eventually it's going to be, we'll catch up and it will be like, I guess, a live reaction, although I found that really hard to do at the time. There's just massive gaps of silence when I can't think of what to say while I'm concentrating on playing at the same time. Maybe I just can't multitask. But yeah, for all the insufferable like players of these games on YouTube, to be fair, I have a lot more respect for all of them now. Like, it's actually way harder to practically do than I thought it was, both in the like the tools of it, the mechanics of it, and also just not necessarily being charismatic, but even just physically talking while playing coherently, doing both coherently, especially with a Nuzlocke where you're like trying to concentrate on not dying. Like, I could be waffling on and not realize my like Pokemon's about to get knocked out. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm a spaz, but I find it tough. Just Pidgey after Pidgey after Rat after Pidgey. So many. It's weird how like the Pidgeys kind of evolve gradually, and then Raticate is like such a huge difference with that giant ass fang, and it's like really fat and up on its hind legs, you know. Like some Pokemon change so much more dramatically. I think the ones with 3 stages kind of go more gradual. But even then, I always felt like Charmeleon to Charizard was a huge jump, and it's weird how its colour scheme is like orange, red, orange. That seems so inconsistent to me. It's like annoyed me on an OCD level. I'm surprised they never do you for Pokemon cruelty when you've come to like the nurse like 15 times in a day, you know, like the NSPCC takes the, no wait, that's children, the RSPCA, whatever, some kind of org would confiscate your shit for abuse. Man, the graphical blur is really bad here. I'm going to try walking at normal speed, see if that helps in the next one. I don't have my mic stand, so I've got like my mic propped up on a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to be near enough so you can hear me without me having to yell, because I've got roommates and I can hear one of them talk on the phone a lot and it drives me crazy. But he's like Spanish and loud, whereas like I don't want to be talking so quietly that my voice is all croaky and whispery and annoying. So, but if I get too close to the mic, then I'm going to be like popping and like, you know, no one wants to hear lip smacking and shit like that, you know. So I'm trying to make good audio. I'll see how this turns out. But yeah, we're at the same sort of level as the highest wild ones now, so it should start to be much more easy. And as the benched Pokemon start to be the same level as each other, I can switch between them all without hitting the Pokemon Center, so it kind of gets, although the X requirement is higher, it's sort of more efficient, I feel. It's a bit of a risk putting Primo there. He's so close to leveling up. Yeah, get him the fuck out. It's a shame how like Venusaur is slightly disappointing in how it looks. Like I think Ivysaur and Bulbasaur look so cool, and Venusaur's just a bit too fat. I mean, the turtle, Blastoise looks super chubby in like the early red blue sprites, but he's been kind of like slimmed down in like later releases, whereas Venusaur is still a chonk. And yet his poison dual type just seems to give him more weaknesses. Like he just gets wrecked by psychics. I kind of wish he was just pure grass, because nothing screams poison about him. You know, he'd still be able to learn toxic through TM, like, because like everyone can, but like he's just a plant. Why is he a poisonous dinosaur plant? Like, I don't know, it seems odd. And yeah, like Charizard's dual type probably gives him way more weaknesses, but rule of cool, you don't care, it's a dragon, it needs to be flying, you know. Ironically, he's not a dragon type. That's like the meme with him. I think one of his weird ass mega evolutions is, but I never really liked anything past the first two gens. I'm kind of a Gen 1er and Gen 1-2 or whatever the fuck you'd call it. I played one of those Let's Go games. I thought that was kind of weird. It over-focused on Pikachu in a way. Yellow, I think, got the balance right. Like, you had all these extra features of Pikachu, but your team was still very much significant, whereas they really like, it's flying, and it's like, I'd rather fly on a Charizard than fly on this fucking balloon propelled by a Pikachu somehow. It's ridiculous. Although if you had, I think, the Charizard following you and then flew, it would look like you went on the Charizard. So they kind of did that, but it's all a bit weird. I guess Yellow in the end game went a bit too far the other way, where like you didn't get much stuff going on with the Pikachu, but it was a huge fucking liability in combat. Like, it was just such a glass cannon. Even if you like over leveled it for the Elite Four, like if you didn't take out like Cloyster or Dugong in one shot, they one shot you, you know, and that was like really annoying because it gets pissed at you and it faints. It's like, well, what do you want me to do, man? Like, if I put you in a box, you'll get pissed. If you faint, you'll get pissed. If I put you in slot 6 and don't use you, then I'm only winning the game with 5 Pokemon, and it's just like kind of annoying. I think the other games sort of fixed that by adding in that light ball that just boosts Pikachu specifically up to sort of relevant standards. I think Dynamaxing is good too, and Gigantamaxing and all that shit. I actually just played Sword and Shield and actually quite enjoyed them. Like, I hadn't played, a lot of people whinge about them, but I hadn't played X or Y. I haven't played a Pokemon game for years. Like, I think I played a Black or White, like, one ROM hack where they changed it to be 151 Pokemon, but yeah, I hadn't played beyond Crystal. Like, I hadn't ever played Emerald, none of that stuff. Ironically, watching the Pokemon like Generations thing, or whatever the sequel to that was called, I thought was pretty dope. Here we go, finally. New poke. I used to always like the Butterfree line more than the Weedle line as a kid, but I think sort of the Beedle's kind of growing on me with like the twin needles and shit. It's kind of dope. But yeah, that should be enough for a weak ass Caterpie. Must remember to not be on one Pokeball, because if it escapes, you're fucked, because that's still your one encounter, right? So you need to stay stocked up on. So I used to always call my Butterfrees or anything in that line Butter back in the day when I was a kid, but let's be woke. Let's call it. And then you get cursed with the dreaded character limit, as you can see. So we have to be a little bit, stretch the English language a bit. I guess I don't think I've had a Pokemon called Meat that I need to rename Saitan or Tofu or anything like that. Those are good names for Pokemon, actually. Yeah, so I always used to call Pidgeys Joey, but I don't know. Philip is just random. I don't know why. I was thinking of a name, and suddenly Philip just popped into my head, and he's a Philip. I think giving animals, like cute animals, especially fierce, vicious ones, like just regular guy names like Steve or Bob, is just that's always a good bit. I don't know why, it always just lands. This is my poisonous snake Terrence. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, that's, I think, part one. We have a full team now. I think we're good to go.